What were my top 5 fears in ATM business at the end of the video? And I'm going to share with you this exciting message. Alright, so I wanted to make this video talk about my fears when I was in your position about getting into the ATM business. So we decided to put together a little, hey, these are my fears when I was looking at getting an ATM business just like you guys. So fear number 1, I didn't know anything about ATMs. I didn't know how they function. I didn't know how they work. And I was scared to death mechanically of the ATM. But what happened is we put out our first ATM. I muddled through it. And then you know what? I figured out it wasn't so bad. ATMs, to be honest with you, they really only have a couple challenging parts. That's the paper and the dispenser. And the dispenser, if you're buying a new ATM, it works pretty flawlessly, and ATMs will last anywhere from 7 to 15 years anyways. So just to give you guys, it is a little scary, but it can be overcome. Once you put your first ATM out, it pretty much works flawlessly. And if you have any issues, you can, and if you buy them from us, you can always call. We'll talk you through any and all issues. But it was a little scary in the beginning. Point number 2, I didn't understand how the ATM business worked. I'm like, well, look, I put the money in the ATM. Where does the money go? How do I get my money back? How long does it take to get money back? How much money do I put in the ATM? How long is it gonna last? All those were questions that I didn't understand. You know, we explain a lot of those questions here on the channel. Also in the course that we have, we explain how to do it. But basically, I'll give you just a little, for instance, when you put the money in the ATM, pretty much the next business day, you get the money back. So when you put in, let's say $100 and somebody takes out $100, you get the ATM money back the next business day. So that's pretty much how it works. There's a little more intricacies. We also go over that throughout the channel, but that is the basic how the ATM business works. So if you're thinking about starting your own profitable ATM business but didn't know where to start, stay to the end of the video and I will show you our checklist entitled ATM Business Passive Income Checklist, the 5 things you need to know to start your profitable ATM business so you can have a clear roadmap towards ATM business success. You can earn between $250 and $1,500 of passive income every single month. All right, let's get back to the video. Point number 3, I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know what to say. I was a little shy. I was fearful of a rejection. How am I gonna do this? What do I say all the time to the people? And you know what I learned is I just practice over and over of talking to people and asking them. Now it's funny is my daughter says, you know what, I'll talk to anybody at any time. I always say hi. It's just part of doing it repetitively, getting in your reps of talking to people. You can start, if you're a little shy, just start saying hi to people when you're at the grocery store or on the street. Hey, how you doing? It makes it easy to talk to strangers because you're just practicing all the time. And that's what I do. I always practice talking to people that I don't know. So I get comfortable making a joke, making a comment, and it becomes easy to talk to people you don't know. But in the beginning, it was very scary. Plus, I was a lot younger. And sometimes with age, things come easier just because you get a little bit more respect when you're a little older. When I was younger, it seemed that people ignored you a little bit more. But as you grow older, I don't know, I guess you get lucky and people start paying attention when you're talking. Point number 4, I didn't know about business. Hey, what do I do? Do I open up a corporation? At that time, I was running in another corporation. I always instruct you guys to open up a separate corporation when you get into the ATM business or open up a corporation. I tell you, don't do a sole proprietorship. Always start with a corporation. But years ago, I used it as I had an existing business. I just used it with that, used the business with my existing business, but I didn't know what to do. Then what we decided to do is separate our existing business from the ATM business and start a new ATM business. So that's what we did, but I didn't understand how to do that. But what we did is we incorporated in our first business and then later on we separated the businesses. But it was a little scary and of what to do. That's why I chose, hey, I'm just gonna incorporate it in my first business. And then later on I realized, you know what, it's better to separate it all. And point number 5 is I didn't know how to install an ATM. So believe it or not, what we used to do is we just took the ATM and we just placed them in the location. I never bolted them down. I didn't put sandbags. I didn't do anything. And because I didn't do that, a lot of times we didn't have contracts and we didn't bolt it down. And sometimes because of that, what happened is I learned the hard way is guy just took my ATM in the store and put it in the back room and another guy was put in my spot. And then I asked what happened. They said, hey, we went with somebody else. And so what I learned the hard way, bolt the ATM down because then they can't move it, get a location agreement because then they can't move you out of the location, and have those tough conversations, which are a little tough in the beginning, But the worst thing is to go to a location and they don't even call you, and you go there and your ATM is in the back room and somebody else's ATM is in the front. So that really scared me enough to know that, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make sure we bolt this thing down every time. And I'm also gonna make sure I have a location agreement. So those are my line in the sand items, because it hurt a lot of times when this did happen. And it did happen a few times to me that, and I guess I got lucky when I think about it. Hey, they could have stole that ATM, they could have moved that ATM, I had money in the ATM. So I guess I was lucky that I didn't lose the ATM or the money in it, but I did lose the location. So I learned, and that's why I teach you guys, always go in with the location agreement. But that was one of my biggest fears, is the reason we didn't do that. I didn't ask for a location agreement because I was afraid of the conversation, and I didn't bolt it down because I didn't know how to bolt it down. So I didn't have the right tools. So what I do, I invested in tools. We got a hammer drill, we got anchors, and I learned how to secure it to a wood floor and a cement floor. Now we got the proper tools. And one thing you learn in business is you have the proper tools, things can go a lot smoother. All right, so if you're thinking about starting your own ATM business, I want to invite you to our free checklist entitled ATM Business Passive Income Checklist, the 5 things you need to know to start your profitable ATM business. So you can start earning passive income, make more money for your family, and spend more time with them also. If that sounds like something that's interesting to you, click the link down below and start your ATM journey today. Again, this is Phil from the ATM Mastermind group page, where we buy your freedom at one transaction at a time. Thank you guys for making us #1 on YouTube, and I'll see you over at the next ATM Mastermind video.